Following months of war, eastern Ukraine's coal mining industry is in ruins now. Once a true powerhouse, now miners have little to rely on to rebuild it other than themselves. RT's the first channel to get inside one of the mines to see what they're up against.
Just riding this train hundreds of meters underground is scary in itself, but I can't imagine what the people here were feeling when they realized that bullets were shot and bombs were exploding above ground while they were trapped inside.
War led to a power blackout that disabled the tunnel's water pumps.
Лава восточная, где у нас вверх, значит, 150 метров вода поднялась по лаве. Сейчас все эти секции, вот смотри. Вот она, видите, все это дело мы восстанавливаем. Люди сегодня бывает.
Everything from support arches to ventilation systems became submerged.
All this area was flooded with water. You can see it by the rusty stains on these panels over here, but pumping the water out was just the first step. The soaked equipment had to be brought up on the surface to be fixed before making its way back underground.
Строим жизнь заново. Всю жизнь строили, теперь опять строим.
The people can't rely solely on their own efforts. They're waiting for the Minsk peace accord to bring about new contracts and numerous wartime bans to be repealed.
Начинается какое-то движение по вагонам железнодорожным, начинается хоть какая-то отгрузка, хотя материалы наши не пропускают еще. Блокада так и не снята. По финансам то же самое, заблокированы все счета, финансовая система не работает.
The miners do have confidence in themselves, but rarely in the politicians. Ilya Petrenko, RT, and the self-proclaimed Donetsk Republic.
A pair of no-nonsense Ukrainian businessmen turned top politicians got embroiled in a bit of particularly nasty fighting on Friday. One of them, who's now a governor, took a group of armed men to raid the offices of a state-owned oil transport company, the story goes. Brandishing assault rifles, they broke down doors and chased off security guards. Leading them was billionaire Igor Kolomoisky, who said he wanted to check some paperwork. That was after the company decided to sack one of his protégés from a managerial post there, apparently. Well, he's the man in question. Here he is. He's not only a regional governor, he's also Ukraine's third richest man. He also owns over 40% of said company that he broke into. Well, immediately after the raid, he said he was off to have a word with President Poroshenko about the board's decision to fire his man. The oligarch's behaviour has caused uproar in the Ukrainian parliament. MPs from a number of parties demanded that he be stripped of his post as governor. But after his chat with the president, it seems all Kolomoisky got was a written remand for swearing. Online, we'll tell you about why the Eiffel Tower in Paris could soon vanish. Well, at least from view, anyway. Smog from traffic has been engulfing the French capital of late. RT.com's got the lowdown on how the authorities are battling to clear the air. Plus, an out-of-this-world property project to learn how scientists have discovered that lunar caves are big enough to house entire cities. Pleading for freedom and humane treatment. Inmates at British immigration detention facilities have been going out of their way to try and get their message heard. Next, RT's Harry Fear reported in the week on the voices from behind the barbed wire.
Condition here is very bad nowadays, totally like a prison. No one is allowed to go out.
I've been detained for more than 17 months now.
The reason why we went on hunger strike is because we were called animals, and we need to be caged like animals and eat with pigs.
The detainees embarked on a hunger strike against what they allege are unsanitary conditions, a lack of legal support or medical attention, and being kept for months in prison-like conditions. RT's now spoken to dozens of detainees inside and kept up the coverage from a number of facilities.
The number of horror stories coming out from behind the walls seems to be increasing.
Around half of immigration detainees inside this facility have now been on hunger strike.
I spoke to earlier the mother of one detainee.
There have been cases of many people who have been subject in their home country to extreme violence, human trafficking and sexual abuse.
RT asked the Home Office for a response. It said detention is essential for immigration controls and that it should be performed with dignity. Even as the hunger strike spread, we kept getting the exact same response from officials.
I've gone for a hunger strike in this place and my depression is getting worse and worse. Yeah, I'm feeling very suicidal. They are not giving me my medication.
Even visiting detainees became a problem for RT's correspondents.
They've said that you'll try to book in, so they've said that you're not allowed to book in because obviously you're pressing you.
The Home Office says journalists aren't allowed in at all, at least for now. But earlier, I did manage to get inside before staff recognised me as media. One detainee there also told me of the dread of immediate deportation back to danger with no chance to appeal, the notorious fast-track system for failed asylum seekers. Similarly, Abbas, who is a Christian convert, described to us his fears of persecution in his native Pakistan.
If my life is not in the danger, I would never ever come here. Whatever I've seen in the detention center, it's a totally injustice and it's totally unfair. My life is in danger. I need to face the society. I need to face the radicalism.
Despite his hunger strike, Abbas and other Pakistani nationals were deported to Islamabad in the early hours on Wednesday.
And here is the coach leaving. This marks a real low, obviously, for their cases and ultimately a failure to their desperate protest.
In London, I'm Harry Fear, RT.
Shiite rebels have taken over Yemen's third largest city and its airport. Earlier, the United States began evacuating its remaining troops from the country, with the security situation rapidly deteriorating there. On Friday, 2 suicide blasts struck the Yemeni capital, Sana'a. The attacks targeted 2 mosques, with some estimates putting the number of victims as high as 137. An affiliate of Islamic State in Yemen claimed it was behind the atrocities. Saturday's massive rally in the Spanish capital, Madrid, ended in this: clashes. The march was against the government's austerity policy, but as it concluded, some 200 protesters launched firecrackers and smashed car windows. Many arrests were made. The event, called March for Dignity, attracted tens of thousands from across Spain.